as I woke up, the word bloodbath was trending. And I was like, my goodness, did something happen in London again? Are politicians talking about the rising crime rates in San Francisco or in Chicago? Did they realize that by not controlling the border and allowing everyone in, they can have some of the nefarious individuals that are making life difficult for the people of Haiti crossing over to the United States? Did any of that happen? No. Apparently, as you can see, Donald Trump used the word bloodbath. And all of these journalists, like, I gotta ask, do they write the articles together? Like, do the people from The Guardian and NBC News and The Telegraph and The Times, do they sit around on a Discord server and they're copying each other work? Because if I was a teacher and these journalists were my students, if they came with this homework, I would assume that they copied from one another. Seriously, you give them a test paper and they come back with this, you would give them all Fs because, like, you're cheating. You must have copied each other homework. So what did Donald Trump actually say?
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine.
I see. Naruhodo. It's almost like in the English language, the word bloodbath can also mean something else. Fascinating, isn't that? So these journalists, they must be really incompetent, aren't they? I mean, they must feel really bad right now that a Romanian has a greater grasp on the English language than native speakers themselves. Now again, I'm starting to wonder, do experts in psychology not feel concerned that the journalists are incapable of understanding metaphors? It is concerning, isn't it? Like a human being that is incapable of understanding metaphor. Wasn't that like one of the superheroes in the Marvel movie? The one with the Guardians of the Galaxy, huh? Yeah. Surely the journalists would never use metaphors, right?
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC,
Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough.
Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath there, shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats, a bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long.
Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down. Donald Trump bloodbath.
My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious, what was that? I am so concerned. How can people that use such dreaded metaphors be in charge of public opinion? Oh, I am literally shaken. I hope they get banned from social media, right? Because this is what they are suggesting. It's like anyone that uses this type of violent rhetoric should be held accountable. And look how much the journalists have used it. Huh? Trump only used it once, but I have seen journalists use it even 2 times. Anyway. Thanks to Twitter, not being in the grasps of the Democrats and having fact checkers, many journalists actually did get fact checked. And they were pointed out, actually, the speech that you're trying to take out of context. Here is the full context of it. Here is when Joe Biden used the same language. And also, here is the definition of the word bloodbath. This caused a couple of journalists to be a little bit unhinged.
He's talking about a bloodbath for America. It's laid out in the terms of it. And these idiots on Twitter, these idiots on cable news, these idiots on Sunday shows going, well, president, he was talking only about the auto industry, and this is one more. It's just bullshit. Let me say that at 6:15 a.m. It's just bullshit. He knew what he was doing. We're not stupid. Americans aren't stupid. He was talking about a bloodbath.
Yeah, we're not stupid. You're stupid. The people on Twitter are stupid. Everyone is stupid. We're smart, okay? People who watch us are smart. Everyone else is stupid. You and your stupid fact checkers and your stupid community now. I find it interesting how no late night comedians are picking up on this. Because it is funny, isn't it? You know, the ones that are dressed in a suit and they have like their late night Saturday show and they pretend to be funny. They have the same opinions on everything. They're not upset about this. They're not making fun. Oh, interesting. The level of pearl clutching, though, right? Like, I need to talk with some of these journalists because I guess, like, pearl clutching must be profitable. Like, are you really a leftist if you don't pearl clutch over fictional stuff and metaphors and words? I wish I could pearl clutch. I can't afford the pearls, though. I can't afford the pearls. They're expensive. So I can't clutch them. Maybe if you support the channel, link is into the comments section. If you scroll down, there's a link. It takes you to my subscribe start at Patreon. See how slick I was? Look, if I don't advertise myself, who does? Anyway, right, I looked actually at one of these publications, Yahoo News. And Yahoo News actually did have comment sections. And you look at the comment section, and the overwhelming amount of people, they generally thought that Trump is talking about violence just because they read the headline. This is why they do this. This is how the manipulation works. Like, they prime people. It's like, Trump man bad, Trump man bad, Trump man bad. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 scoops of ice cream, ketchup on the steak, feeding the gooses in Japan. You know, like they do that all the time. So when they put a headline like this, people are primed, and it's like, well, of course he's talking about, like, because they assume the most uncharitable thing, right? Like, they're not going to think, well, he's speaking in metaphors. No, he's an unhinged person. Of course he's talking about this, right? They think he's talking like Obama was talking about the Middle East and drone strikes, eh? But no, it actually works. And another thing that's interesting, if you go on Wikipedia, and if on Wikipedia you were to actually show them the full conversation of Donald Trump, where he's actually talking about the automobile industry, they would refuse that. That is not a source. Like, source? What is your source? It's like, well, it's an original source. It's his actual speech. No. It needs to come from a respectable publication. But if the respectable publications, like you see, The Guardian, Televras, MSLSD News, The Dependent, and all of that, The Concord, right? If they don't want to report on what actually happened, then you're not going to see it. So Wikipedia can't print it. But what I find more interesting is that his speech was actually about the economy, right? Like, if you're an American citizen, you are actually concerned. It's like, well, hold on a little bit, right? Like, if our jobs keep getting taken away, like if our government is regulating jobs to the point where they are much more profitable to be done in Mexico over the border, right? Because the left here has regulated the work environment so hard, for the benefit of the workers, of course, but what ends up happening is that the factories just move into another country. Well, that means less jobs for me, right? Like, that's not good. But they're not going, like, they don't want to focus on the actual issues. Like the thing that actually impacts the citizen, the thing that they actually matter. Who gives a fuck the metaphors and the bombastic expression that the leader uses? No one cares. Absolutely no one cares. But what they do care is about the actual economic impact. Like, can you put food on the table at the end of the month? If you don't have a job, the answer is no. But they don't want to discuss that, right? Instead, they want to do the circus. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.